Hiya, right, I'm going to talk quickly now about the lesson that some of you missed the other day on foreshadowing. Just watch this to revise that, really. Okay, what we covered was we learned what foreshadowing was, and we tried to explain how this creates meaning in the novel, or in the novella. To foreshadow is to present an indication or a suggestion of an event beforehand. We looked at how this is used in this Star Wars poster with Anakin Skywalker, but then there's literally a shadow here showing him to be like Darth Vader. So it's a sign of something which is to come. It's a reference in the novel to something which is about to happen, or is going to happen later on. The big example of this, or the most notable example, is Candy's dog and the shooting of Candy's dog. In the lesson, we looked at the basics. Who is it killed by? So that's Carlson and George, of course, killed with both of them with Carlson's Luger. How are they killed? Both killed in the same way, to the shot to the back of the neck. And why are they killed? Well, that was interesting. We had a discussion about it. Candy's dog, I suppose, because he was causing problems to other people and he was suffering. He was a burden. We talked about him being a burden to the other men because he smelt and he didn't bring anything of value to their lives. And then we thought there were similar things really with Lenny. The fact that he's a burden on George, and also, that Candy's dog was in pain, and that Lenny was not necessarily in pain now. He was about to be if he was caught and lynched by the other men. So the idea there's a similarity there, that perhaps George is killing Lenny out of a sense of trying to do the right thing, which brought us to this question: does he act morally in killing Lenny? Because if you're writing about good and bad, is it a moral act? Does he do it for good reasons? Okay, we then looked at the two quotes, which I'd pause and have a look at here, and we noted real similarities between them. And we talked about this bit, this quote down here. He pulled the trigger, Lenny jarred, and then settled slowly forward in the sand, and he lay without quivering. And what some of the things we talked about were that that's quite a restful image. He's still, he's at peace. It's not doesn't suggest a painful or difficult death, and therefore that seemed to suggest that George was, you could argue, is presented here as doing the right thing, as doing something humane and understandable, and doing something responsible. He's actually acting in a way which is best for Lenny. We also looked at the sibilance here, so that is spelled sibilance, which is the alliteration, but with the S sounds. Okay, so sibilance, and it's here in then settled slowly forward in the sand. And we thought how that created quite a kind of soothing effect in this context, in this instance. Okay, so that was what we did in that lesson. Just so you know, it's a good thing to write about, because partly it means you're writing about structure. If you say that George, the reasons that George has to kill Lenny are first explored through the killing of Candy's dog. And remember, Candy, after his dog is killed, doesn't regret the killing of his dog. He regrets the fact that he didn't do it himself. So it seems to suggest that when Candy's dog is killed, that Steinbeck uses that example to show that George is doing the right thing. He's doing an understandable and humane thing. Okay.